Elon Musk is using his money and his social media platform to promote Donald Trump ahead of the election. But some experts say his latest efforts potentially violate the law. Musk announced on Saturday that his pro-Trump super PAC would award a $1 million prize each day to random swing state voters who sign a petition from his pro-Trump super PAC. He presented these large checks during rallies in Pennsylvania. Some legal experts say that violates federal law prohibiting paying people to register to vote. The former president did not comment when reporters pressed him on the issue yesterday. And the Justice Department's also not commenting on the matter. But Pennsylvania Governor and former Attorney General Josh Shapiro told Christian on Meet the Press yesterday that he was troubled by the payments.
I think there are real questions with how he is spending money in this race, how the dark money is flowing, not just into Pennsylvania, but apparently now into the pockets of Pennsylvanians. That is deeply concerning. Look, Musk obviously has a right to be able to express his views, but when you start flowing this kind of money into politics, I think it raises serious questions that folks may want to take a look at.
With me now is Nate Persily, a former senior research director for the Presidential Commission on Election Administration. He's now a professor at Stanford Law School and an NBC News election law analyst. Nate, your fellow election law expert Rick Hassin points out that Musk could be violating Title 52, Chapter 103, and Section 10307 of the United States Code, which, for anyone who doesn't just have that in their back pocket, says whoever pays or offers to pay or accepts payment either for registration to vote or for voting shall be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned not more than 5 years or both. So given that statute, is Musk violating it?
So the central question here is whether he's paying people to register to vote or if he's paying people to sign a petition. And that's the critical difference. And since he says that only registered voters will be eligible for this kind of lottery in order to get the $1 million, that is something that the DOJ has contemplated in its guidelines and actually has specified lotteries as something that you can't offer people as a reward for registering to vote. I think that, he would say that he's just trying to pay people to sign this petition, but that, then he should open it up to everybody, not just people who he'd be rewarding for registering.
Yeah, you bring up a technicality here, right? He's saying that he's awarding this money to a voter that signs a petition, not actually paying people to register. But is that a legitimate defense if this were ever to end up in a courtroom, which we are so not there yet?
That's right. I doubt we will get there.
Right.
But, and this just shows you how the norms of our politics are disintegrating around us. We've never dealt with a particular issue like this. There are examples of people being prosecuted or disciplined for example, giving people coupons to fast food restaurants if they turn out to vote, or even Ben & Jerry's at one point withdrew an offer to, reward people with ice cream if they were to come and show that they voted. You have to make the offer to all people, not whether they're registered or not whether they voted or not. And so, there is some legal liability here. I don't think we will see this in court, but it just shows how much he's pressing the envelope here. I should also say the media coverage of this has now led, I think, to increased popularity of his super PAC. And so he's sort of achieved, I think, what he really wanted to do, which was to motivate people to pay attention to his efforts in politics in the battleground states.
Well, I guess that's the cost benefit that you're weighing here if you're Elon Musk, right? So would the world's wealthiest person contend that the potential penalty here is worth the potential crime, which is, is the juice worth the squeeze in terms of turning out Trump voters?
I think he probably is making that calculation. I don't know whether it's going to have much of an impact. He has actually tweeted today that he thinks that there's been increased Republican registration as a result. This is something we can look at after the election. But I think that, again, it's now a tool that is being used by one political actor. It's not going to stop there. If this becomes part of our politics, we can expect all kinds of rewards being made in order for people to register and potentially to vote.
Because at this point, the Justice Department isn't commenting, but would you expect them to investigate this, especially if media coverage and this particular ask from Musk continues?
I don't think they will, in part because in an election season, the DOJ is particularly gun-shy about trying to investigate these types of actions, especially given the accusations of partisanship that are flowing with respect to all the other investigations of Trump that are going on. And so I think he's going to get off in doing this. I'll say one thing, which is that the registration date in Pennsylvania sort of ends today. And so if as an inducement to register, it's kind of time-bound. It's not going to have as big an impact going forward, but it does set a precedent for what might be a more traditional form of motivation in politics generally.
And as you look at this, are there any other potential laws that Musk might be breaking with these million-dollar payments?
Well, it depends also on Pennsylvania law because and the other laws in the battleground states, because we've been focusing on the federal law, but each one of the states also has rules about what you can do in terms of incentivizing people to vote or incentivizing registration. And so I take Josh Shapiro seriously, since he used to be the Attorney General of Pennsylvania, when he says that there are potential legal liabilities there.
Certainly, that is someone that you have to pay attention to if they are looking at this and saying, maybe I got some questions about this. But Nate Persily, thank you for answering ours on this lovely Monday.
My pleasure.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.